I think we're good. Hey everybody, Josh Brown here, managing editor with Fisher's Magazine, hanging out today at the workshop of Sharek Gadd, local resident here in Fishers, kind of on the west side, on the banks off Eller.
On the fringes.
On the fringes on Eller Road. Got a little bit more out of the city here. You get a little more of the White River on the banks here, but Sharek is a local forger here, which is kind of a little bit of a lost art. Pretty unique how you got into this story here. Tell everybody how you kind of got into forging.
I've done metalworking most of my life. Did tool and die work. Got into the sign business, doing metal fab and welding. As far as getting into forging, a friend down the street actually gifted me a late 1800s, early 1900s forge. And that was kind of the starting point, making historical items.
Awesome. And that's really, I mean, it's a hobby, but really, I mean, it's kind of taken over what you do, right? Because it becomes a little bit more than a hobby. And for you specifically, kind of give us some insight into some of the things that you create. I mean, obviously, you've got some stuff on the table. You can show us some knives and things like that, but you're really big into gun making as well.
Correct. Yeah. I think the first thing most anybody makes is probably a knife.
Right.
But that gets boring pretty quick. But so made a lot of those. I don't make a whole lot anymore.
Yeah.
But I do classes where we make knives because it's a fairly simple process.
Right.
But, and then the next step up is tomahawks or axes. But what I got into was the 17th, 18th century stuff and the arms and accoutrements. So that's mainly, I guess the main item is Flintlock Rifles.
Oh,
so,
look at that.
That starts with a big slab of wood, generally curly maple, and then your barrel and your lock, and the old terminology, lock, stock, and barrel, all that comes from this firearm. That was the M14 of its day, or the sniper rifle, if you want to imagine. That's what it's what won our country, along with all the people involved.
Right. So you do a lot of 17th, 18th century rifles and guns you're talking about.
Flintlocks, any caliber.
Right. And these are fully functioning.
Fully functioning. Yeah, it's fully functioning.
We were talking too. I mean, a lot of these guns that you make, that you create, you use in competitions, right? Locally. What are some of those that you do?
Kind of called over the log shoot or hog shoot. There's generally some sort of reward at the end, and it's mostly us old guys. It's kind of a hobby that's kind of fallen out with modern culture, but that's with this rifle. But it's generally at like 60 yards, 35 to 60 yards, depending on where you're shooting at. But you're looking for closest to center,
right?
And you shoot an aggregate, generally 10 shots, 15 shots, 25 shots, depends on the competition you're shooting at. But you generally walk away with some nice tenderloins or hams or whole chickens, that kind of thing. But it's a lot of fun. The guys that are still into that, they got into this hobby in the bicentennial, in 1976.
Right.
So that was a huge draw to a lot of people into this hobby and into this culture. But they're still out there, and there's new guys coming in. Yeah. But
well, there's probably a lot of mutual respect there too, almost fraternity-wise of brothers, because all these guys that are coming to these competitions are probably, for the most part, making their own weapons too, right?
Most everybody's building their own guns, or certainly the items that are associated with it.
Right.
You've got this is a typical. This would be your shot pouch for the line.
Okay.
Not only do you have a powder horn where you charge, but you also have your priming horn.
Right.
And then you got short starts, screwdriver, flint hammer. This is your patch knife. These are muzzle loaded firearms. And flint measure and vent pick, but most guys are making these.
Cool. So I imagine when you guys get together too, you're able to kind of exchange ideas and talk about what you're doing, and that's really cool. Well, talk with me a little bit more on the forging side of things. You were kind enough to let us come out, get some photos a little earlier. We were out with the old coal forger that you've got. How did you come about that? And that's a little bit more old school, right, than what you've got today. Maybe explain how the process works.
Yeah, most guys use gas forges now. You'll see a lot of that on TV. I like coal. I've done gas, but to me it's not much of a pleasure. Coal's kind of gentle. You can you can play with the fire, you can watch your temperatures a little closer. Right. And with forging, you have to watch the color of the metal closely because that tells you what you're going to be able to do with it. Anything from just shaping it to even forge welding. Right. Yeah, like I said, I was gifted that forge and got into doing this stuff pretty heavily. But you know, you can make anything. It's a neat part. Yeah. I guess that's the fascination with it, is being able to take you know, a hard piece of steel and
fashion it however you want.
Change its shape completely into whatever you want. You make fire tools, or anything. Yeah. Rivets.
So you've been doing, forging wise, you've been doing that about how long now?
About 10 years.
10 years, okay. And then several months ago, fairly recently, you get approached by Discovery Channel. Yep. Well, I guess actually, tell us a little bit about the story, because Discovery Channel recently had a show, Master of Arms, right? Competition type show. And I think you mentioned maybe a friend mentioned it to you, and you just applied on a whim, didn't really think anything about it, but then you heard from him.
Yep. Yeah, a friend sent me an application for the show, and I really didn't think much because, I mean, the world's pretty large. Right. And, so I kind of, okay, I'll send this off. So I filled it out, and then a few days later I get a phone call. I don't know the number, so I called him back, and it was the Discovery Channel, production company. And that started a process of telephone interviews and Skype interviews, and was eventually selected to go shoot the show.
Which is awesome. About how many people were on the show? I mean, there's a lot, right?
I know there's at least 8 episodes, but each show is a competition between 3 people. Okay. And that's about all I can really say about the show. Yeah. So.
But like you said, I mean, pretty selective group. Yep. And for you, it had to be an honor. I mean, 10 years is a long time to be doing this, but probably a lot of these guys you met have been probably doing it for most of their life.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few guys on the show I know from watching, later episodes. Right. I've seen them at shoots or some of these contemporary long rifle shows. So that's kind of intimidating. Yeah. But it's, makes you feel good too to actually get selected to go do something like that and represent your group of people. Because we're actually, this Flintlock community is kind of small. Yeah. And so,
that was my curiosity. I mean, as far as what you're doing here, you're probably one of the few around this area doing stuff like this.
Yeah, there might be. I know personally in Indiana there might be maybe 6 or 8 other guys doing this kind of thing. Unfortunately, we're not closer together.
Right. Awesome. Well, for you, I mean, with that show too, I mean, it being a competition, maybe give people a little insight into, I know you can't go into depth, that they flew you out to an undisclosed location for a couple of days to shoot, but as far as that competition went, how did it go, and maybe what was the most enjoyable part for you?
I think the most enjoyable part was just just fighting the clock, because it's a timed event. It's 2 stages. But they set the clock up. You don't know what you're going to make. Right. And then they say go after they show you what you're going to make. And then you're pulling stuff together in your mind how you're going to make that work. And
what was it you had to create for this episode?
I had to make a medieval battle axe. Okay. So, but I made axes before. I make tomahawks. They're kind of they're smaller.
But thinking on your feet's a little different than having time to prepare.
Yeah, thinking on your feet's a little trickier. And they gave you some specifics you have to hit. And then, they got racks of material. And
everything you can need.
Anything you need, sometimes. Yeah. But, picking and choosing and then getting to work. And then just feeling the pressure of the clock, because that's what it is. I mean, everybody, guys next to you, they just kind of disappear. For me anyway, they disappear, and then it's just the clock and what I can make. So. And
then, past that, the episode comes out. You recently had a watch party at Wooden Barrett Guys, right? Yep. How did that go? Friends, family, get to come and check it out?
Never been with that many people in one room that liked me. That was really special. Yeah. The Wooden Barrett staff was awesome. I mean, they stayed open really late for us, and great beer, great food, and that was a lot of fun.
What did your family and friends think about you being on the episode?
I couldn't really talk about it that I was on this show.
Right.
I had to,
until right when it came out.
Until right when it came out. I couldn't say anything until the Discovery Channel said we could. So then I started showing sharing the commercials, and some of them were offended that they didn't.
They weren't told beforehand.
They weren't told beforehand, but most of them thought it was really cool.
That's awesome. How was it for you seeing yourself on TV?
It was comical.
Right.
Yeah. It was comical. I'm not.
I never thought that would happen.
No.
Probably.
Yeah. No. Social media, I see that kind of stuff. But live TV, that's kind of strange. But nationwide, now it's in the UK.
Yeah. So that's cool. That's really cool, though. And I mean, overall for you, it was probably a great time, camaraderie. You get to kind of talk to some of these guys and make connections. So
yeah, made a lot of great connections just through the show.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fun. You know, we got all the behind the scenes stuff that nobody else knows about, so we keep poking each other on it.
Yeah,
so it's fun.
Awesome. Well, tell everybody about your Facebook page, because I know you do classes too, right?
Yep.
For people who are kind of maybe wanting to get into this, or maybe holidays are coming up. Maybe you're wanting to specifically create something as a gift for a friend or family member. You could help them out with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook at Sharek Gadd. Also have a website, SharekGadd.com. I'll spell it SharekGadd.com. You can find me there. I've got a schedule and the type of work I do too. I do a lot of commission work.
Right.
But like you said, classes. I hold a class on the last Saturday of each month, and that's a $50 rate with a $100 minimum. But you can spend as much money as you want, which would be cool.
Right. Always is right.
Up to 8 hours for a day, and that makes a long day.
Cool.
But,
it's learn a little bit about forging now.
Yep. We make anything from rings to, coat hooks up to knives and tomahawks.
Yeah.
So whatever you want to do.
Awesome.
And I do gift certificates too. A lot of people like that.
Yeah. So to be able to use it for classes.
Yep. I can print those off and send them to you, and you can give them as gifts, and then we can schedule whenever somebody wants to come out.
So look him up, Sharek. Thanks for taking some time to let us come out today and hang out in your workshop and chat with me for a little bit about this and get some cool photos of you forging with your hammer out there. So be on the lookout soon for this story at Fisher's Magazine, and thanks for joining us, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.
Thanks.